Welcome to Big Money Sales Moves, the podcast for powerhouse coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs who are ready to scale with confidence and consistent cash flow. I'm your host, Carissa Atkins, speaker, author, and creator of the $1 Million Sales Matrix. Here is where we break through the industry lies that keep women overworked and underpaid. Say goodbye to bro tactics and burnout, and hello to alpha queen strategies. Sales, premium client attraction, and CEO level leadership that makes scaling simpler, faster, and more profitable. If you're ready to step into your $1 million era and make your next big money move, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. What up, ladies? Welcome to another badass episode of Big Money Sales Moves. Okay, so I'm going to just jump straight in and I want to get real for a second. So when it comes to growing your business, you already know what to do, right? I guarantee if I called any one of you, and I said, what do you need to do in order to grow your company this year, this quarter, whatever, right? You would all say, I probably should post a piece of content today. I should definitely follow up with all the leads that I've been talking to. I should be showing up, on stages. I should be making my offer. You should be doing the damn thing, right? And I find that so many entrepreneurs know exactly what they need to do in order to get shit done, right? In order to reach their business goals, in order to close out quarters, with epic cash flow coming in. So really, why the question is like, why do so many women know what to do, but yet don't really do the thing that they need to be doing? Right? Why is it that so many brilliant, ambitious, hardworking women hit 10, 20, or $30,000 months only to crash and burn, stop showing up, or lose their momentum in the middle of launches? I mean, why do so many women crawl back to corporate or get stuck in maintenance mode, terrified to go all in on the next level? That's the real question that we're going to talk about today, because it's not laziness. It's not lack of drive. It's more than likely self-sabotage. And I'm not talking about the surface level procrastination or distractions. I'm talking about the deeply rooted subconscious programming, the beliefs and identity patterns that have been running your life since childhood, quietly dictating how far you go from, pulling the plug on your own success. And listen, this is exactly why I created the Rise app, because success has a frequency, and most women are trying to scale using yesterday's energy. The Rise app is the #1 tool for ambitious women who are ready to step into that next level identity. It's where strategy meets energetics, guided meditation, subconscious reprogramming, and daily embodiment practices that literally help you think, act, and feel like your next level self right now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Rise app later on, but guys, this is truly the #1 tool that I can't do enough of, my clients can't get enough of. And I'm so freaking excited to tell you a little bit about, why it's so magical and how it helps highly ambitious, badass females truly step into that next level version of them. All right, so this week we're diving into pillar #1 of the $1 Million Sales Matrix, which pillar #1, if you remember from last week, it's called quantum energetics. Yes, it has everything to do with your mindset. Yes, it has everything to do with your identity, and of course, your energy. Because mindset, identity, and energy have everything to do with sales, have everything to do with lead attraction, and of course, ultimately stepping into that unapologetic CEO version of you, right? So mindset, identity, and energy, these are the roots of everything, right? Your brand, your sales, and your leadership. And I truly believe that we can't scale and build our businesses from 6 to multi-6 or multi-6 to 7 figures with a 5-figure broke ass mindset or a frequency that is built up of lack, comparison, or judgment. Okay, so let's paint the picture here. Okay. This is what I see happen so much with so many powerful women. Okay. You're on track for your biggest launch yet, and then suddenly you stop promoting it. Or you're about to close your highest paying client and you somehow forget to follow up. right? You told her you would, and you somehow forgot to do it, and then you finally do, and she's like, oh, I already went with somebody else, right? Like this happens all of the time. Another way that I see this show up with entrepreneurs is that you're posting content and you're getting tons of engagement, and then all of a sudden you disappear for weeks. And you tell yourself it's because you're tired or you're busy or you'll just come back stronger, right? But what's really happening is that your subconscious just pulled the emergency brake on your ass because self-sabotage is a form of protection. Your brain is wired to keep you safe, not successful. Success, right, equals more visibility, more money, more leadership. Sometimes that doesn't feel safe, right? It doesn't feel safe for your nervous system. And if your subconscious, associates it with rejection or abandonment or fear of failure, right, or some kind of loss, it will never help you get there. So instead of leaping forward, you unconsciously pull back. And this is why even the smartest, most disciplined women can feel like they are on a freaking roller coaster of momentum and crash cycles, right? I see it all the time, ladies, and we've got to stop it. We cannot want to go after our goals and dreams with one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. It's really, really hard to do, and you're going to burn yourself out along the way if you're constantly fighting that internal battle. I've seen this play out hundreds of times with clients, with colleagues, even myself. So yeah, we're obviously going to peel back the layers of self-sabotage. And in case you missed the reframe there, a lot of women are like, oh my God, I sabotage myself all the time. I just don't know why, and they see it as, again, they see it as something negative, but I'm just going to always give you a reframe here that when there is self-sabotage happening, right? Even if you're consciously or unconsciously aware of it, when this is happening, I honestly think you're kind of flirting with getting outside of your comfort zone, and it's actually a good thing. Right. So when you can start to see yourself pulling back when you would normally push forward, just know that you're on you're one step away from greatness, right? You just have to be willing to do some of the inner work to really allow yourself to move forward. So I had a client one time. She was about to hit her first $100,000 launch. The content was fire, you guys. The audience was so freaking hot. We were warming up her audience with our proven, six-step message mapping sequences, right? The audience was so freaking warm. We took it from cold to warm, almost freaking hot. Her offers were ready. The funnel was done. And literally, guys, 2 weeks before the cart opened, right, for this amazing launch that she had been building for months, she froze. She stopped selling. She convinced herself that she needed more time. And I remember that Voxer, it came through and she's like, Carissa, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. I need more time. And what happened was that launch ended up flopping, not because of her strategy. The strategy was not wrong, ladies, but because sabotage kicked in and she could not see it. And I could see it clear as day. Another one of my clients, this is crazy, right? Another one of my clients landed a speaking opportunity that could have positioned her as the go-to goat in her industry. Literally, we built out her signature keynote talk. It was $100,000 talk, right? We set up the funnels, the lead magnets, like everything. She was so freaking ready. It was going to be an audience full of a few thousand, like primed people ready to go. And then all of a sudden, right, the night before, she sent me a Voxer. She's like, I just don't feel well. I'm sick. I don't feel good, right? And then my kids are sick. And like all of a sudden, all these stories started coming out. And was she sick? Maybe, yeah. But I'm telling you, if you put me in front of 2,000 women who are my single perfect buyers, guys, I'm going to push through that 30-minute keynote. I'm going to get shit done, right? But this is why self-sabotage is so damn sneaky. It's so sneaky. Sabotage doesn't always look like self-destruction either. Sometimes it looks like rational excuses, and I get it. I totally 100% get it because I have been there too. When I was scaling my company, I had about a $33,000 month, and then I had a $54,000 month, and then I had $100,000 month, and then I had $176,000 week in coaching sales. Guys, this I'm not talking about selling our courses. I wasn't selling our planners at the time. It was just straight up clients who wanted to work with me in the Alpha Queen Collective, right? $176,000 in 7 days. You would think that my success frequency was set to total abundance forever, right? Because I was on this beautiful kick. And I don't say this to brag, ladies. I'm sharing this to A, to show you what's possible, right? But B, to also start to pull back the curtain on how I sabotage my own shit, right? So the next month, I had like a $7,000 month. And then the following month, I had a $3,000 month. And I started to get in my head. I started to think, oh my God, right? My offer, I need to update my offer. I need to update my website. Why isn't the money flowing in, right? Maybe I should update my lead magnet funnels for like the 10th time. I mean, I would touch so much Canva graphics. It was unbelievable. I was doing almost everything, yet avoiding the very thing that actually brings in sales. Crazy, right? It wasn't the strategy, it was self-protection. So the reason why, right, a couple of months in, I reached out to my mindset coach. I was like, listen, yo, what the F is going on? This is crazy. And we did a mindset session, and he was like, Carissa, like I obviously felt it during this coaching call, but I had this shift that I felt so much pressure. I mean, you would think that, coming off of $176,000 a week, $100,000 months, $50,000, in 5 days, like things like this were normal for me. But at one point, I started to like believe that that was going to be pressure that I was going to have to carry forever. Right? I was like, oh my God, my husband says I'm his sugar mama. What if I can't continue? Right? Like all of these what ifs, these stories started flowing through my subconscious and into my conscious mind. And I was totally psyching myself out. And what I realized on this call is that I was protecting myself. There was some part of me that was scared to grow, scared to hold all of that success. I even just had a client, you guys, we had a 30-minute call, and she said, even though I have successful months, some part of me kind of feels like, tomorrow there could be a twister and everything gets taken away. Right? There's some part of her that still has a little bit of fear rooted deep within her. She's like, who am I to be this successful? I mean, what will people think if I talk about it, right? She just started hyping this whole scenario out. And I said, listen, girl, no, no, no. Right? I was like, you get to have it all. You get to be successful. You get to be a great mom, right? You get to be a total alpha queen. And I literally made her a 30-minute custom alpha queen mindset meditation track that allowed her. I said, listen to this track every single day. It'll help program your mindset for success, first of all, but it will also help you feel safe to be that successful, because I got it. I knew exactly when she said some part of me feels, right? I was like, oh girl, been there, done that, right? So I actually turned that 30-minute custom mindset meditation track for her into a 15-minute mindset activation on my Rise app that I'm going to tell you about a little bit later. But okay, so this is where most high performers get stuck, right? They get stuck in self-sabotage. And they don't need more strategy. The women that I work with in my higher level containers, my 6 and 7-figure earners, they don't need more strategy. They have all the strategy that they need, right? What they need is subconscious safety. Because here's the truth, you guys. You can't outperform your subconscious beliefs. That's like trying to out exercise a super shitty diet. I mean, I've tried that as well. So, like, it doesn't work. I know this to be so freaking true. So, you can't, right? You can't you can't out hustle your identity, right? That says I'm not enough. You can't out strategize a nervous system that associates success with danger. Our beliefs, right, are programmed early on. Our beliefs, we have positive beliefs, we have empowering beliefs, we have beliefs around values, right? We also have these things called limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are simply a belief system, a story, a moment in time where we started to believe that something was true and it's actually holding us back, right? We've probably all been told to sit down and be a good girl, right? I know I was told, Carissa, don't outshine the other girls on the stage. They want to shine too, right? Because I used to have a really big personality. Used to, I still do. But yes, I would get that all the time. And then, oh my gosh, around money, right? Like things, we didn't talk a lot about money in our household growing up. We also didn't have a lot either. But some of my clients' biggest money mindset blocks is that they heard money doesn't grow on trees. Or, we don't talk about money because money equals fights with my parents equals divorce. So therefore, money is bad, right? Or another one is that I hear a lot is success is for other people, not for people like us. Right. Or just the other day, I had a client, we were doing some mindset magic work, and she said, who am I to feel this loved? Right. Like when I feel a lot of love in my heart, I literally go out and self-sabotage my relationship some way, shape, or form so that it brings my love meter back down to not feeling worthy. Guys, this is real shit. And we as women, we need to step into our power. And it's really hard to do that when the itty bitty shitty committee inside of our head is running the show. Those beliefs keeping you stuck, they form the blueprint your brain runs on. And unless you rewire that code, your success ceiling will always stay right where your subconscious sets it. It's almost like a thermostat, right? In a house. Like if our thermostat is set for 70 degrees, right? The house gets heated up till 70. And then what happens afterwards? It cools you back down. So we need to shift our belief system. We need to shift, how we think, how we act, how we behave if we want to step into that next level identity. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to take a quick break. And when I come back, I'm going to teach you a simple 3-step framework for how I help clients when they are needing to work on their limiting beliefs when they don't have access to me. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Are you a coach, consultant, or CEO who is ready to scale like $1 million leader? Then it's time to make your next big sales move. I'm Carissa Atkins, founder of the Alpha Queen Collective, where we help ambitious women master high-ticket sales, attract premium clients, and lead their empires with unshakable confidence. If you're ready to sell with ease, market with impact, and step fully into your CEO power, head over to www.alphaqueencollective.com.
Hey everybody, oh my goodness, we have got talk radio for all of it.
Really, thank you for blazing the trail for women in talk radio and just being such an inspiration to me and so many other people. What you're doing is so awesome. And, without people like you there to really step out of the box and go for it, I don't know if someone like me would have ever ended up here, but I'm so happy to be here. And I just want to thank you for everything you're doing. You're one of my major inspirations.
Are you feeling the call to deepen your self-awareness, trust your intuition, and live in harmony with your heart, body, mind, and soul? If so, join me, Kristen Bilecki, in an enlightening 5-week course, The Keys to Awakening Masterfully. We begin Tuesday, June 17th, so join now. Visit awakenedsoul.net, click on events to join. It's your time to live your heart and soul-led life.
Hello, hello, ladies. Welcome back. We are talking about a really juicy topic today. It's called self-sabotage, and it's a little sneaky. I mean, come on now. Sometimes we don't even realize when we are sabotaging our own success. And in the earlier in the show, I gave you a powerful reframe. If you are someone who self-sabotages, to start to look at that not as necessarily a negative, but a area in which that you are either going through a growth phase, right? And sometimes on the other side of success, like in between that, like where you're at and where you want to go is like that scary little thing called like the uncomfort zone. Sometimes like right when we're on the verge of that uncomfort zone and like stepping into success, self-sabotage sneaks in. Or, right, self-sabotage is a positive because your body is literally triggering, like, hey, I'm not sure that this is going to be a safe decision. Let's just hold back, right? Let's put on the brakes. Let's think about this. Let's just relax for a minute. So there's like a couple of interesting ways that we can kind of start to think about self-sabotage. And right before I went on and, took a little break, I was talking about our belief system, right? And how our belief system is programmed at such an early age. It's typically programmed from our parents, our teachers, and society, right? And sometimes these internal thoughts of like, oh, I shouldn't talk about money, or who am I to have this kind of love in my life, or I can't charge that kind of money for my coaching programs, right? That itty bitty shitty committee. Quite honestly, it's either coming from what others think of you or what others have said to you, or more than likely, it's your own conditioning, right? So our belief system is typically created from the ages of, like some people will say as early as 0, right, from birth, all the way to the age 7 or 8. And so when you think about that, I mean, 7 and 8 year olds, I don't know if you have kids, but my kids literally would make up so many stories when they were kids, right? They were like, oh, mom, she doesn't love me because she didn't buy me the doll. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't say I didn't love you. I just said we're not buying a doll today. And she's like, well, right. Her little brain believed a story that if I didn't buy her the doll, that for somehow I didn't love her, and that she maybe meant that, maybe my daughter maybe started to think she's not lovable, right? All because I said no, that we're not buying a doll today. And what I mean about this, guys, is kids make up so many stories, right? Because we have to rationalize why we aren't, getting what we want, or the story that we're experiencing, the story that's literally unfolding for us sometimes. So these beliefs, although they were created in our childhood, we can start to shift these beliefs, this unconscious programming that has been keeping so many women, powerful women like you, playing small. So I want to give you a little 3-step shift, right? If you can't necessarily work with a mindset coach, or, I mean, although it's really hard to do this kind of work on yourself, I will say it's doable, yes, but I would not recommend it. So if you have a lot of shitty programming going on saying like, I can't charge that much, who am I to charge this much? I can't ask for that kind of money. No one will buy my offers. Like if you're having this stinking thinking thought process going through your mind all the time, I would highly recommend booking a call with me. A 15-minute clarity call. I can ask you a couple questions and just kind of see if you actually need to work with me on the mindset side of things. However, if you are not in a position, don't let that be your excuse, right? Get a pen and paper and write this down. If you're driving, come back, listen to it, write it down again. So it's 3 simple steps to starting to uncover, right, some of these beliefs and help you swap them out with positive thoughts, because a thought is just a thought. And I like to tell my clients, if you can think it, then you can unthink it, right? If you can believe it, then you can unbelieve it. All right. So simple step 1 is you have to first be aware of the thought, right? If we want to change or shift the thought, we have to first be aware of it, right? So step 1 is just getting very conscious around the stinking thinking that's holding you back. Write out a list, right? Like all of the shitty thoughts and all of the things that you tell yourself, you're not good enough, you're too old, you're too young, blah, 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 whatever is going on in your head, write it down. Then I want you to step 2 is circle the biggest one that's holding you back in your business and in your life. So just identify which is the biggest story that likes to run the show. And then the 3rd step is what we call the thought swapper. I know it's super clever, but really, if you're envisioning this, is the minute that your brain thinks of that thought, right? Because right now it's like a habit, it's been programmed. You could have a $20,000 month and still start telling yourself that you're not successful enough or whatever, right? So because it's a habit, we can swap that out. So the minute you hear yourself, say that thought, what I do is I imagine myself catching it, swatting it away, and telling myself something new instead. Okay. So I catch it, I swat it away, and I imprint a new one. And over time, guys, you can start to shift your limiting beliefs. Is it the fastest way? No, obviously. It's like asking a heart surgeon to do his own surgery. He could probably figure it out, but he doesn't want to, right? Neither does a woman who wants to truly work on her mindset, okay? So those are 3 easy steps. Awareness is key to all transformation. Identifying which one you really need to focus on first, and then getting into the habit of swapping that thought away and imprinting the new one. All right? Cool. All right. This is just one of the things that I'm obsessed with, guys. But these thoughts, right, have everything to do with who we are, who we be, and the kind of money that we want to make in our life. And I am obsessed with quantum energetics, because when we help our clients clear the fear, dissolve the old identity, and anchor in new subconscious programming, everything starts to shift. And that's exactly why inside the Rise app, we've integrated guided tracks that target exactly these patterns: fear of failure, fear of visibility, fear of rejection, imposter syndrome, money guilt, all of it, right? These aren't fluffy affirmations I'm asking you to repeat to yourself. This is neuroscience-based activations built to help you rewire your subconscious mind and re-anchor your nervous system in for expansion. Ladies, I'm talking EFT tappings for releasing resistance. I'm talking hypnosis-based meditations for confidence and sales energy. I'm talking breath work and quantum visualizations for identity upgrades. Because when your subconscious finally feels safe for success, you stop sabotaging it. That's where the real quantum leap happens. So let me simplify the neuroscience for you, okay? So really quick, there are 3 parts of our brain. We have the survival part of our brain, we have the emotional part of our brain, and we have the logical part of our brain. So when sabotage kicks in, it's because you're in survival and emotional brains are screaming, "This isn't safe." While your logical brain just goes along for the ride, rationalizing why you shouldn't launch the offer. Yeah, you're totally right, Carissa. You're not ready. Tweak the offer, right? Because your rational type of your brain, that logical piece, it wants to support what you're feeling and that primal protective layer, which we call the survival brain. More on that later to come. But I just want you to know that here's the truth, right? That I want you to know is that safe doesn't scale. Okay, so if you want to expand, you have to teach your body and your brain that success is safe. That's the work we do. Not changing thoughts always, all the time, not changing your identity, but also helping you, right, rewire your brain for success. Okay, it's like brain fitness. So if you're listening right now thinking, Carissa, I've done the mindset work, I've journaled, I say pretty affirmations to myself in the mirror, why do I keep hitting these walls? Well, it's because you've been trying to fix an identity level problem with a behavioral level solution. You don't need to work harder, ladies. You need to rise higher. That's the difference between traditional coaching and what we do inside my world. We integrate the $1 Million Sales Matrix, the strategy and the subconscious wiring that makes strategy move. So let me leave you with this. It's our power move of the week. Take out a notebook, write down every area that you have been sabotaging your own success, right? Where have you been avoiding action? Where have you been overthinking instead of executing? And where have you been playing small because success feels unsafe? Then ask yourself if sabotage is running the show and what you're willing to do about it right now. All right, ladies, if you're ready to reprogram that fear, download my Rise app today. It's only $11.11. You do get a 7-day free trial. Cannot wait. And I will see you next Monday for another badass Big Money Sales Moves podcast show. Thanks. That's a wrap for today's episode of Big Money Sales Moves. Say goodbye to hustle and grind and burnout, and hello to ethical sales and Alpha Queen strategies. If you're ready to master high-ticket sales, scale your business, or grow your empire, head on over to www.alphaqueencollective.com and make your next big money move today.